Hello! I'm back. It's been a year, but I'm back. Yay! I'm so excited. I'm assuming it's going to take a minute or two to grab some friends, but happy fall, y'all. I know I'm that person. As much as I love Christmas, I also love fall, probably because it leads up to Christmas. But nevertheless, I wanted to start early and do a show in October and November because I just love doing this so much, and I thought, you know, how fun to show you guys some fall recipes as well. So tonight, if you can see, I am doing baked apple donuts. I posted the picture earlier to the page so you can kind of see what the end result should look like, and hopefully they end up that way. But before we start, I'm just gonna finish. I started by peeling one apple. For this, I'm gonna need 2 total. And so here is the other one. Hi, Michael. You can shut it off now and go back to your other videos. Love you. I'm gonna peel this guy while I'm catching an audience. And so it calls for 1.5 cups of grated fresh apples. And when I actually made this, I think last weekend, I don't remember what day, I ended up using 2 apples to create the 1.5 cups. So I kind of figured out the little kinks, and it's really easy to peel an apple using, obviously, a peeler, right? All right, and then you just want to clean out the insides, and we're gonna chop this guy up. I'm actually not going to grate it. I took the easy way out and it worked really well for me. So I have like one of those little ninja choppers. I'll show you in just a second. So I'm just carving out that little center piece there. I'm just gonna throw it inside this little ninja chopper, and it's gonna do the grating for me. If you don't have one of these guys, then I'm gonna say an old-fashioned grater is gonna have to do, right? I'm actually taking this recipe a little bit backwards as well. It calls for you to mix your dry ingredients first and then your wet. It really doesn't matter which way you prefer, but I'm gonna do them wet first because of this apple. I didn't want it to turn, and you have to add the dry ingredients anyways, so you might as well do the wet, mix the dry, and then add them in. All right. So here's my little ninja chopper. You can see it's nice and ugly. I just shoved them inside of there, but the blade's inside. And I've just got this is the lid thing. I'm gonna take it over here kind of off screen a little bit so it's not super loud for you guys. And chop these guys. Don't mind my noise. My dog really loves it. Just gonna push these down a little bit, give it a good stir. You can kind of see it's already getting chopped up. What do you think, Michael? Was that good? I'm gonna give it one more because I'm OCD, and I feel like giving it one more is gonna make me feel good about the whole process. All right, good deal. I'm gonna sit this off to the side now because I'm not really ready for it, okay? So I'm gonna mix up our wet ingredients, all right? Let me get back to my recipe. So to start, I have a 1/4 cup, so a 1/2 stick of butter, melted and cooled. So what the heck? Most of you know by now we don't want to microwave. So what I did was I put my 1/2 stick in here, I shoved it in my oven for a little bit, it melted up, and then now it's nice and cool. I've set it on just the countertop for a little bit. So a 1/4 cup of unsalted butter, melted and cooled. All right, 2 eggs, 1, 2. I'm gonna crack them and put them in a bowl off-site. That way, in case I get any shells in it, but I did not. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Toss that guy on in there. 1 cup of sugar, which my hubby so generously already measured out for me. Throw that in there. And a 1/2 cup of buttermilk, which I did leave in the fridge because I didn't want it to go bad as we were waiting. And a 1/2 cup of buttermilk. This, I could not find it when I went to Walmart. And I said maybe it was just out. Maybe everybody was craving buttermilk so bad that they had to have it because I couldn't find it. But my husband went the very next day and found it. What are you gonna do? Here's my 1/2 cup of buttermilk and 1 cup of unsweetened applesauce. You can see I already opened it because I made this recipe last week. So 1 cup, I'm actually gonna use my wet cup over here because I've already got it wet. So a 1/2 and another 1/2 equals a whole. And we're gonna mix this guy up. Okay. Ooh, delicious. Mix our wet stuff up, and then I'm gonna add that fresh apple in it, okay? Are you guys just as excited about fall as I am? I can't wait for Halloween. You were saying that since our kids are too old to get excited about it and get dressed up, that now we're gonna start having to dress our dog up. Oh, that'll be fun, right? All right. Splash me in my face. Now I'm gonna take my fresh apple and I'm gonna add that on into my wet ingredients. Scoop it out, try to get as much of that goodness as possible. All right, give that one good mix up there so you're sure everything's together. And it's kind of like a little chunky grossness. Set that off to the side now because we're gonna need that in just a minute. Now we're gonna move on to our dry ingredients, all right? So this takes 4 cups of all-purpose flour. I have a really funny story about the flour, actually. Most of you, again, know I shop online at Walmart. And so I had put some stuff in my basket, 4 cups, 1. So I put a thing of flour and some sugar. Well, I wanted to make these donuts before I got my groceries, so I actually went to the store and got my flour and sugar myself. Forgot they were in the cart, did my regular grocery shopping, and when my husband picked up the groceries, he's like, why did you need so, that was 3? I actually don't know. Now I have to dump it back. Hi, Jill. I was so concentrating on talking to you guys. That's okay, I'll just start over. 4 cups. I have a dog food bag, 1, 2, filled with flour. It's so huge. So I've got this little one. This is the size that I intended, 3. And then a huge bag, which I guess is just gonna help me out because I'm good. What are baked goods without flour, right? 4. 4 cups of flour, and we're gonna take 4 teaspoons of baking powder. So I've got this, my cutesy little teaspoon. I'm gonna do 4 of these guys. I love that it's got like the little scraper. I don't know how many other people appreciate that, but I super do. I wish that my baking soda had it on there as well. 3 and 4. 4 teaspoons of baking soda. 1.5 teaspoons of salt. So here's 1 teaspoon of salt. And I could just do half of that one, which is what I would normally do, but I'll measure it out for you guys. It's all right. Here's a half. And 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. This is brand new baking soda just for the show. 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. And then your spices. So I already put my spices in this little container, but it calls for 1.5 tablespoons of cinnamon, so quite a bit of cinnamon, right? And then a half a teaspoon of ground nutmeg. I did not have nutmeg today, and I didn't want to go and buy it just for this. So what I actually did, hi Crystal, what I actually did was I just used pumpkin pie spice. When I made them before, it turned out delicious. So trust me, if you don't have nutmeg, you could use the pumpkin pie spice and it works out fine, but it does call for nutmeg, all right? So I'm dumping that in, and they asked me to whisk it up. So got my nice little flour dry mixture, and I'm mixing this guy up. Just gonna take a second, and I'm gonna add this a third at a time. Listen, folks, people ask me all the time when I'm making stuff, how do you make it taste so good? Or, you know, oh my gosh, I make stuff like this all the time and it never turns out. I just follow the ingredients and the recipes. Whatever somebody tells me to do, I'm like, yes, sir. So I'm doing what they say to do. Probably there's a reason behind it. So instead of just dumping it all in, like most of us maybe would, I'm gonna do a third at a time and then mix it up. I did do this last time. My donuts turned out great. I will tell you that when I made these over the weekend, I mistook the recipe and thought that it asked for a stick of butter. On the contrary, it asked for a 1/4 cup, which is a half of stick of butter. So I did use a full stick of butter in the donuts that I made over the weekend. Some of my friends up at the Tutor Time around the corner got to try them, so if you end up watching, let me know if you liked it. I thought they were delicious. I did not know I over buttered them, so if you're like, yes, I love butter and I want more of it, and maybe you want the whole stick of it. In this recipe, I followed it and I did just 1/4 cup, and so we'll see how this one turns out. All right, getting this guy nice and mixed up. Did you know donuts were as easy as this? Like, you could make these fresh donuts for your family in the morning. So fun. I actually had them in a nice little Tupperware, and so every day we could just come out and grab one. I actually I'm not that fancy, but I like to eat it with a little fork, right? So now I've got the rest of my mixture in there, and it's starting to look, there it goes, more like a dough. You'll see soon enough. I need to preheat the oven. Preheat your oven to 375, folks. Okay, it was already on earlier because I was melting my butter in there, so it's warm, but preheat your oven to 375, okay? It does say to use a wooden spoon, and I was like, why would it say to use a wooden spoon? That's funny. And so when I made it, I used a plastic spoon, and this mixture is like super thick, and my spoon was just mixing around. So this time I used a metal spoon because I don't own a wooden spoon, and it's much better. So basically it's just saying use something sturdy because this is a serious mixture. All right, folks, this is all done. Ooh, apple goodness. And now is the time for the fun. So if you've been following my page, you'll see I posted this a while ago. This is the donut pan, if you will, and I bought it on Amazon. I'm not trying to represent anybody. It was, I don't know, excuse my butt shot. It was, I think, like 15 bucks or so. Washes up really nice. It's donut. When I was looking at the reviews, some of the people actually use it for like soaps or different things that they make, so I thought it was cute. You want to take this and you want to spray it with your cooking spray inside each of the little cavities so they're nice and greased. And if you saw what I just did, I actually put it underneath of a baking sheet so it stays nice and sturdy, so that when I go to pick my donuts up, they're not like, okay? Now, the recipe says that you can put this inside of a large Ziploc bag. I'm gonna probably say a gallon-sized Ziploc bag to do this. I do have these bags, so I am gonna use this. It is easier. If you want to invest in a box of these, they're like $4 at Walmart or something. I think you get 12 of them. It just makes things a lot easier, but you could use a Ziploc bag, fill it with this mixture, and just cut off the corner. But I'm gonna fill this nice little bag here with this mixture. And I'm gonna see if I can get a camera assistant so they can show you. Please hold me filling this up. Michael, would you come tip the camera down for me so we can see this? Thank you. You don't have to be on camera. You don't have to be on camera, right? I'm just gonna snip the end off, and I actually want quite a bit off because I want the hole to be big, right? Don't struggle with your dough. All right, so Michael's gonna come and tip it down for me so you guys can see what's going on. Oh, thank you. Down. I don't need this guy anymore. All right, cool. You can kind of see it. There it is. So I'm just gonna squeeze it so that it fills that cavity up to each one. Unfortunately, these bags aren't huge, so you'll probably have to do this a couple times. Oh. All right, so I'm gonna keep doing that. Thank you so much, Michael. You wanna keep doing that? You don't have to. They can watch my face. I do it because I'm gonna have to already refill this bag. It's empty. Thank you. Love you. All right, so the bag's empty. I gotta refill it. So what I'm doing, I'm gonna fill these up and then I'm gonna put them in the oven and they're gonna go for 13 to 15 minutes. I did put them in for 13 minutes because you know I like to go less than more. And then just test them. So depending on your oven, you probably want to, you know, do the same. Start with a 13, but it ended up being 14 minutes. I did leave it in for one more minute. They should end up firm to the touch before you pull them out. So, you know, they should spring back. Your fingers shouldn't be able to sink down into them. See, there's the third time I'm filling this bag up. Dedication, folks. And this is gonna make, this is a 9 pan, so it makes about 18 donuts. I mean, I had a little bit of dough left over last time and I tried to make these little donut balls and it did not work out. These turned out delicious to me. They are exactly what fall tastes like. And I'm from Michigan, and a big tradition back in Michigan is apple donuts with apple cider. And that just screams fall to me, right? Apple everything. Cinnamon, apple, nutmeg, pumpkin pie, all of it. So here are my delicious donuts. That lighting, there you go. Ooh, yum yums. Stick this guy in the oven. And I am, just because I'm still gonna start at the 13 minutes, and I'll check it and probably leave it in for the other minute. Now, by the magic of TV, I actually, like I said, I made them before, so I saved a couple to show you what they look like when they come out of the oven and what the next steps are, all right? So after they come out of the oven, you wanna leave them in the pan to cool for about 5 minutes before you pop them out, and they'll come out looking like this, right? So this is the pretty side, this is the side that's down, ends up looking nice and pretty. The other side, it's not so cute, but that's okay, because you're gonna cover them up, right? So what the recipe says is you have two options. You can take butter and spread the butter on the donut and then dip them in the cinnamon sugar mixture, or you can use the applesauce. So last time, I don't know why I shooed this away. I want this. Last time I used the butter. This time I'm gonna try the applesauce. Why not, right? Let's give it a whirl. All right. I want to use my little pastry brush, and I got my cinnamon sugar together here. The recipe is on Pinterest if you want to look it up. It's baked apples, right? Baked apple donuts. It tells you exactly the measurements for this. I tossed in some sugar and I tossed in some cinnamon. This is about a tablespoon, but do it till you like it. You know, if you like things super crazy cinnamony, add it. If you don't. Just leave these as sugar powder, right? Do whatever you want. This is your donut. All right, so I got a nice little mixture there. And this is gonna be strange to like, I'm gonna take this and spread it on my donut. kind of sloppy like. This is what I did last time. I got really messy myself. And then put it in my cinnamon sugar mixture. Dump it over. I'm not gonna lie, it actually looks a little bit better than the butter. So that's it. And this is done. And these are the insides of them. They're delicious. They're best eaten probably that same day, but I had them for 3 days after and they're still super delicious. They get a little bit drier, but maybe you just dunk it in some hot apple cider or your coffee. I don't know. I love you guys so much for watching. I hope you join me next week. I have some great fall surprises in store for you. I don't know why I took that big bite right before I said goodbye. But I love you all so much for joining, and I'll see you next Friday. Bye.